We're hearing from some of the fire evacuees in Los Angeles for the first time here tonight. Action News Now reporter Margot Rose spoke with a friend that you had in high school who is evacuated. So Margot, you spent most of your growing up years in Southern California. What did you learn from her about her experience?
Alan, I have many friends and family members who are in the impacted areas, and I know two people that have lost their homes, some that are still under evacuation orders. And as you mentioned, Alan, I spoke with one friend who was evacuated from the Sunset Fire, the fire that broke out in the Hollywood Hills last night. And while she was able to go home this morning, she got another scare when a false alert was sent out across LA.
And so I look out my window and the whole hillside is on fire, like very clearly, just so close.
Over 100,000 people have been evacuated in the Los Angeles area due to multiple wildfires breaking out. Cassie Staples is my former neighbor and a high school friend who had to evacuate after the Sunset Fire broke out Wednesday night.
So we were gathering all of our things together, and from the time that the fire broke out, we had like less than 20 minutes before we were told, like, you need to go, like, it's time.
This was the view from her window of the fire creeping over the hillside. Cassie says she and her partner took two separate cars, yet due to the limited access in the area, traffic was in gridlock, and there was a debate if she would have to abandon her car and run from the fire.
I had wanted to go north at the time because my family lives up north, and so we wanted to go straight to them. But we were actually stopped by a fireman, and he was like, no one can go north right now because of the Palisades fire, because of this fire, like, the freeways are closed, like, you can only go south. And so then we were panic calling all of our friends, trying to figure out, like, who lives far enough away that they wouldn't also be evacuated.
Cassie was able to make it to a friend's house in Culver City and later stay with her family, and eventually was back home Thursday morning, happy to see her home still standing. And Thursday, right before we started the interview, I got this text from her. While we were getting ready to set up an interview to talk about this, in your experience, you received another evacuation warning, but
Yes.
It actually wasn't a warning.
Yeah. So I was taking this very seriously, and when I got the notification on my phone, I was very much like, okay, like, it is time to go.
Cassie received this evacuation warning message on her phone, and despite it being a warning, she wasn't taking any chances and getting ready to leave. But thousands of other Los Angeles residents also received the same text. But 22 minutes later, this text was sent out to disregard the previous alert as it was sent out by mistake.
But yeah, so about 20 minutes later, they were like, just kidding. It was actually just for the Kenneth fire. So if you are not near the Kenneth fire, don't worry. So that was terrible and stressful.
Cassie says the mistake caused a lot of her neighbors and her friends to panic. Now she'll be double-checking all sources to determine if an evacuation or warning is in effect. And with all the chaos of the fire surrounding her, she's not planning to unpack anytime soon.
And just because of the Sunset Fire happening so quickly, now I know from a firsthand experience just how quickly you would need to go. I'm just staying on the safe side and keeping everything packed until all of the fires are out.
And Cassie says she's grateful for all of the work the firefighters are doing out there. And LA County officials say that the evacuation warning was mistakenly sent out county-wide. So it wasn't just Cassie. There's roughly 10 million people in Los Angeles County. And that message was really just for people living in Agora Hills and Calabasas who were in the path of the Kenneth Fire.
That's not far from where your family is in Simi Valley.
It's not.
So how are they doing tonight?
They're doing okay. There's been a lot of power outages reported in the area, but they're doing okay right now.
Good. That was an interesting report. Thanks, Margot.